Michelina, I don't know. We'll have to ask her. Michelina, let us know how to say it. Okay, on the Money Watch this morning, to swipe or not to swipe, that is the big question for most people when it comes to whether or not to use your credit cards. Now, while it's very easy to charge up a credit card and then fall deep into debt, the question is, are the cards really the culprit, or is it you? Joe Bert is joining us this morning for today's Money Monday topic. Great to see you.
I'll give you one guess.
I know, it's me. It's not the card, right?
Well,
I get it.
It's not using the credit, it's living on credit.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Well, let's talk about this because there are some good ways to use these credit cards to your advantage.
I don't use cash. I can't tell you though. I bet you I haven't been into an ATM machine in 25 years.
Wow.
Honest to gosh. I use American Express and a Visa. That's it.
How do you tip the valet, Joe? That's what I want to know.
Well, my wife carries cash.
See? There's always a trick. There's always a trick. All right, so let's go through some of these benefits because there are some good ones. And we start with travel insurance.
Yes.
And do you include in that, and I didn't look far enough down the list to see, but do you include with that if you have to rent a car as well? Because that's also a benefit,
it's
right?
all the extra cost of your staying because the trip was canceled, not because of your fault. You know, we had those storms up north just a month or so ago, and people were stranded all over the country. So you have to have the hotel, you have to have the room, you have to, and all that stuff. And many cards, you'll be covered. So it's not a bad thing to have.
All right, that's good to know. Price guarantee is also very important. How does that work?
Well, the price goes up, and you bought something at a good price, you thought was a good price, and you find the sale. A credit card oftentimes will give you the difference on that transaction.
This one is good, and I love this, especially with American Express, and I'm sure other credit cards have this too. But return protection and free extended warranties.
Yes, you break the thing. I mean, if it crashes, burns, falls off the table, whatever, a certain period of time, they will refund your money and give you a new one.
My parents had that happen to them. Their TV fell right off the stand maybe a day after they bought it. American Express said, no problem, we'll get you a new one. Just like that. That's great. Okay, number 4 on your list, theft, breakage, and loss protection.
Well, once again, theft. If somebody steals something that you bought recently, loss protection, if it's stolen or broken, as we said in the previous segment, previous part.
Fraud as well.
Yeah, this is a big thing. Remember all the thing with Target? You're covered with your credit card, and there's a lot of ups and downs about, what do I do? If you use your credit card companies can stand behind you. That's why you want to use a credit card. But you don't want to live on the credit, Amy. That's the key.
Right. And the last one is the points and the miles. We, for instance, have one that has the Hilton Honors tied to it, which we use all the time when we go on vacation.
That's why I use my American Express all the time.
Right.
It builds up those frequent flyer miles, and you can be flying first class before you know it.
And a lot of people forget that they have the points on there, and they don't go and redeem the gifts and other things that come along with it.
But what you don't want to do is chase the credit cards, to have a card for this and a card for this and a card for this, and try to figure out the best. Have a couple of cards that you trust, that you know, and build up your accumulation on those cards.
And of course, pay them off.
Of course. Don't want to live on the credit. You want to use the credit card to keep track. It's a great way to keep track of budgeting, particularly this time of year. How much did we give here, where did we spend? But if you're a businessman, keeping a track of your expenses for travel and so on and so forth, it's a great tool, but don't abuse it.
All right, Joe Bert, the Oracle of Orlando Certified Financial Group. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks, Joe. Good tips for everybody. John, let's send it back to you.
All right.